building God's home. We're in the middle of learning how to build the sanctuary, the Mishkan, and the vessels. Today we're going to go into the planks, krushim. That spells the word sheker, taking from the lie of the world and to make it into a dwelling place for God. Let's get right into it. But before, Baruch atah Adonai Mechelam shehakol nimbareh.
Amen.
Amen.
Chaim, Chaim v'bracha. Alrighty. Vasisa, and you shall make esakroshim, the beams, the planks. Sorry. Here we go. These are the planks over here. Right? Just to give you, it's also over here. It's on all four sides, but this is open just to show you. Okay. 1 second, I think I have another picture here. Well, that's going to show it the best. All right. These are the way the planks look over here. Right? One next to each other. Right? That's what creates the holies and the holy of holies, right? From the outside. Okay. So you shall make the beams. The Mishkan, for the Mishkan. Atei shitim, from acacia wood. Again, oimdim, standing. Let's see Rashi. He says, Akarashi, make the beams. Why does it say, why does it put the word S in there, which is a definitive article, without the Sisa Hakarashim? Kamad Shenema B'chol Davar B'davar, as it says, which each item in the discussion of the Mishkan. So, in other words, it's saying the beams, right? What do you mean, the beams? Make beams. Why the beams? Everything else is done saying, make the menorah. It says, make menorah, right? So, what does it mean over here? In other words, it's an item in this. Now, Ma'al Krashim, so it meant the beams, those beams that have been standing and designated for this purpose. What does that mean? We learned this actually. Yaakov Avinu Nata Razim b'Mitzrayim. Yaakov, our forefather, he planted these shittim trees in Egypt. And when he died, before he died, he commanded his children that they should take them up with them when they leave Egypt. When they leave Egypt, take this wood with you, right? Right? Because what are you taking wood with? For what? How come? So Rashi already told us this. He's telling us again. Amalehem. So he told to them, that in the future, God is going to command you. Last week's Mishkan, to make a sanctuary for him, but midbar, in the desert, shitim, from this shitim wood. So he said, Yaakov told his children before he passed away, he said to them, Re'u, see, that it is ready, prepared in your hand. This is a midrashic source in the Babylonian Talmud. Tas mata mizrazim, planting of the aroused Israel. Israel flew from Egypt to become Kedos Batim Arazim, the shittim beams of our temple. This is Okay. Shenizdar ze liyais muchanim biyadam mimkaimam lachi. That they should be diligent to have them ready in advance. Okay. Ate shitim. So, again, what did we say over here? That they need to be taken out of Egypt, right? In order that they should be prepared to make a home for God. So that's why it says, what's Rashi explaining? Why it's called ha, right? With a hey in front of the word, with the S in front of it, the beams. Their specific focus to the word, because there was a specific focus from Yaakov that this should be taken out of Egypt when you leave. And he planted it before when he first came down because he already knew that this is going to be the future for the Jewish people. So these shitim wood should be standing erect. In Old French, estantives. Means that the length of the beam should be standing up along the walls of the Mishkan. Don't make the walls of the beams lying horizontally. Usually, you take wood. When you take wood, how do you make a cabin, a log cabin? You don't make it standing up. You make it horizontal. So he's explaining over here that that's why the verse is saying that make it standing, these beams, that it should not be horizontal as a home usually would be made. That the width of the beam should be make up the height of the walls, keresh al keresh, one on top of the other. Don't do it that way. People think it's winter. Not in here. Here it's...
Rabbi, can you scroll up, please?
Oh, yes, thank you. We put Florida to shame. Florida, it's warm on the outside, but I don't know how much in the inside necessarily. Here, it's warm in the inside because we're learning Chumash and Rashi. I'm sure in Florida they were learning somewhere Chumash Rashi too. All right. Verse 16. Eser Amos, 10 Amos. This is an Amma, remember? So that's about 15 feet. There's a foot and a half, approximately. So 10, the height is 10. Karish, the height, the length rather, of the karish. Amma v'chetzi ha'ama reichav, and it's 1.5 its width. Oh, sorry, yama v'chetzi reichav. HaKeresh echad, each and every single one of them. Rashi 16. Ezer amos, erech HaKeresh, 10 amos is the length of each beam. Lamad gavay Hashem Mishkan Ezer amos. So from this we learn that the height of the Mishkan is 10 amos, based on the beam. I don't know what Rashi is saying over there, like the verse said it, like from here we learn. Okay. What did he add to our understanding by saying that? Obviously, there's some issue that Rashi is addressing. Okay, Amma v'chetzi, Amma v'reichav, and it's 1.5 is its width. So we learned that the length of the Mishkan, L'esrim Karashim, for the 20 beams, Shayu b'tzafon v'dorim mina mizrach l'mariv, that were from north to south, right, in a row, and from east to west. Shleishim amma, they were 30 ammas. This is sorry. This is 30 ammas this way, right? This is west, this is east, right? Although when you say east to west, it really means on the side, right? And this is This is 10 amas across, so I don't know. Sorry. So on the north side and on the south side, there were 20 beams. 20 beams, right? Each beam is 1.5, so it gives you 30. So this is 30 amas this way, and also on this side, right? This is the north side, this is the south side, right? Okay, that's it. Right, we didn't say anything else. Okay. We'll soon have. Okay. 17. Shtei yadais and 2 tenons. On the bottom, 2 tenons, yadai, lekerish ha'echad, for each beam, mishulaves isha elachaisa, that were rung like one into the other. Here. Here, look at the bottom over here. You see it's like 2 teeth. Each one has 2 teeth at the bottom because they're going to go into the sockets over here. So now we're talking about the bottom where it's going to be carved out 2 teeth on each keresh. You see it? Okay. One into the other. So you shall do to all the beams of the Mishkan. Rashi in 17. So there's 2, it translates here as tenons. Yadis means hands. You see it looks like like a hand, right? 2 hands sticking out. Right? That's how it looks like. What they did was they carved out the beam at the bottom, the emsa in the middle. A whole amma high. So that each hand was amma high. Okay? So a quarter was of amma was left on each side. And there was half in between. And these two tendons were put into the sockets that were hollow, and the sockets were high in amma, and they were placed unbroken line. 40 of them, one next to the other. The others and the tendons of the beam would be inserted into the hollow of the sockets and carved away on the 3 of their sides. The width of the part of it was carved away of the beam, and the outer sides of the tendon. The avis fasa adaim, equaling the thickness of the rim of the socket. She calls it a karashim as a ratio adaim, when the beam would go into the top of the socket. Because there was not a space between the beams. Equaling the thickness of the rims of the 2 sockets. She have sikub and ahem, that would form a gap between. It would form a gap between them. That's what it means. They were fitted in the bottom. So okay, look. Remember, how many beams are there? How many beams are there? There's 20, right? 20 gives you how many amas? 30 amas, right? Approximately, right? Because each one is 1.5, right? So look what's going on over here. It's carved in a quarter and a quarter on each side, and a half in the middle, So that gives you a full, and then these are two, each a quarter, that gives you 1.5. Okay? Each one of these go into 2 adanim, 2 sockets on the bottom. Because how many sockets were there? 40, double the amount of crushing. So it would be 2 for each one. They were put uniformly one against the other. So now when you put this into here, this was also like a complete wall. It was a complete flat wall. And this went directly inside. Is that clear? That's what Rashi was just explaining to us. Okay, let's go next. 17 in Rashi, continuing. Mishulavos, rung-like. Asuyas kemin shlivas sulam, they make like rungs of a ladder. They're separated one from the other. And their ends are tapered. In order to fit into the hollow of the socket. So again, just saying that this is tapered, right? That's what it means. And it's rung-like. Look at it when you see it like this, it's like rungs, right? It's like rungs. And they were made that way and tapered in order that they should fit inside the adanim.
They were shaped.
Yeah, they were carved out. Yeah. Exactly. Isha ela choisa. You know what Isha means? A woman with her sister, right? Meaning that's a figurative term, because that's what it means, obviously, because there were 2 on each one of the rungs, each one of the of the planks. They had 2 hands, so they're called like a woman with her sister, right? What does it mean? It means one with the other. A line one opposite the other. That their carved away part should be equal. Zu kemida zu, like one measure to the other. So that the 2 hands that would go into the should not be drawn out inside or outside one of the other. But all the akerish in the thickness of the beam. Shu amma, which was an amma.
I hope they get along.
Mitagim sheyodei tziri. Okay.
Why are you using this term?
So,
A woman
So-
and her sister.
in Shutishah Mikra, it's not a question. I'm sure in Kabbalah it explains something, right? But Shutishah Mikra, it's not a question. That's the way Torah speaks, right? So, anyways, look over here. The adanim, the sockets, they're made a quarter in. The hole is made from a quarter, because this hand is also a quarter in, so it should fit flush. The whole idea is that it's sitting flush. That's what Rashi wants to bring out. Okay. 18. Vasi says, "Akrashim lemishkan ayasim kedesh lefasa negba temana." And you should also make, right, 20 planks, beams, to the south side. To the south side, same thing. On the north side, you did 20. On the south side, you're also doing 20. Rashi in 18. The pas negba teimana, to the southern side. The word negba is southern side. The Negev. You ever heard of the Negev in Israel? It comes from the word here, south. The word means south. And here we have the word negba, right? Same root. This corner, because it says corner. Pas means corner. But the whole side is called a corner. Ketargumai, as Unclis translated, le ruach ava deraima. Rashi's, because remember that we had the law Peah. What's Peah? The corners of your field that you have to leave for the poor. So it doesn't mean the whole side of your field. It means the corner. So, but here it says the word corner. Rashi comes and explains that it means the whole side. It doesn't mean literally the corner. Okay? Everything in Hebrew or in Lashon Kodesh, we have to have a context of what we're talking about to give a meaning to it.
It's interesting that he's using actually the word dahon here.
That's Onkelos. That's
Dahon.
Onkelos. Onkelos says Daron, right? It's Onkelos. That's a translation to Aramaic. 19. Arboyim adnei kesef. And now we're going into, Rashi already told us about these sockets, right? He already told us, but now the verse is telling us. So the verse is telling us 40 silver sockets that you should make under the 20 planks, beams. Shnei adanim, 2 sockets under 1 beam. Ha'echad, the one. L'shtei yadaysav, for its 2 hands, or its 2 tendons. Ushnei adanim, and 2 adanim. Tachas HaKeresh, for each plank. Ha'echad. L'shtei yadaysav, for its 2 tendons. No Rashi.
How you see it, like 2 adanim for 1, right?
Yeah. Here we have the picture. This is 1.5. The adanim are 3/4 each. So 2 of them make 1.5, right? These are 3/4. A quarter in. Then there's carved out a hole, right? A quarter in, hole for a quarter finishing. That gives you 3/4 of an amma, right? So that's each one. And then would come in the kerish, right? That would be carved out. It would go over it a quarter, right?
Because it goes to the next.
It goes to the next. No, it goes into 2. It says 2 for each one, right? So each one, right? So it would go over here. It would go like this, and like this on this side, right? Because this is not a good picture of it, right? But you can picture what I'm saying. Yeah, you can picture it or not?
Yeah, but I have a picture here in the Chumash itself.
Okay, good. Okay. Good, excellent. Okay. 20. Let's tell Mishkan. Yeah, it's clear. Perfect. Well, let's tell Mishkan Hashenis, and to the side of the Mishkan, the second one, the Passover to this northern side, Esrim Karish, there should be 20 planks. Barboim Adnehem, and 40. And there should be 40 Adonim. 20. Let's have the Mishkan Hashenis, the Passover, Esrim Karish, should be 20. 20 planks. 21 now. And the 40 sockets, kosev, are made from silver rather. Shnei adanim, 2 adanim sockets, tachas hakerish ha'echad, is under 1 plank. Shnei adanim, tachas hakerish ha'echad, and 2 adanim under 1 plank. Right? Repeats it. Okay. Now we go to 22. What are we left with? The west side. Right, we didn't speak about the west side of it, right? The west side is over here. It's only 10 across, right? As we're going to learn in a second. And here it's going to be a little tricky because what do you do with the corners? Like, how did the corners figure, right? So 22, well, the Yarkesei Mishkan, to the Yarkesei means the ends of the Mishkan. Yama, which is the west side. Tase Shisha Kroshim, make 6. We're going to make 6. Oshnei 6. Rashi in 22. The Yarkesei to the ends. Lashon Seif. The word Yarkesei means end. Kitakumai Yafe, as Unkelis translates it. Lefish HaPesach b'Mizrach Kari b'Mizrach Panim. Why is it called the end? Because the entrance is on the east side. So then what's on the west side? The end. There's another book there. Right? Welcome. Right? And therefore the west side is the back. And that's what it means to end. Because the front is the beginning. You should make 6 beams. What do you have? 6 times 1.5 is how much? 9. Right? 6 times 1.5 is 9. So that gives us how much? 9 amos, right? But the inside is going to be 10. So we're missing an amma on the inside. So let me just explain so you get it. Just follow me, please. Okay? 2 corner ones, right, are 1.5, that gives you what? 3. 3 and 9 is 12. Well, we said it's going to be 10. So the corner is going to be part of each corner is going to be part of the side of the north and south side, right? When you go like this, a part of it, right? If you can go like this, or you can go like this, right? If you go like this, then this part is wider. If you go like this, then the inside is less, right? Is that clear? So if you take the 12 and you go like this, then it's going to become 10. We'll see the number. I'm just explaining it to you so you get it now, right? Is that clear? Yeah, you see it. It's obvious. I mean, I'm giving you an obvious thing, but I'm giving you it. So because 6 and the 2 corners makes it 12, but the inside is only 10. Why? Because it's going to be like this, not like this, which would make this bigger on the inside, right? So that's why the verse first tells us about 6, and then it's going to tell us about the 2 corners in order to make the corner that it's covered in such a way that it's going to make it right less on the inside, width-wise, right? And if I confused you, well, Rashi will confuse you more, because when you read it, it's harder to understand than when you see it visually. Okay. 23. Shnei akrashim. Now you should make 2 planks. Lekumtzais for the corners. Kumtzais means corner. Hamishkan b'yarkesayim, by its sides. Okay, Rashi 23. So Oshnei krashim tasin lekutzais, and you should make 2 beams for the corners. Echalim tzayat tzapainis v'arabis. One is going to be on the northwest. This is northwest over here. Okay? This is west, this is east, the front, right? And this is west, the back that we just said it's the back, right? The end. So now that's north, west, and this is going to be southwest, right? It's not an airline, but now you know where they got their name from. Okay, Rashi continuing. That's the northwest. So one is going to be on the northwest corner. So one's going to be the southwest corner. And the 8 beams now that are on the western side are arranged in a row. But these 2 that are now, we mentioned that, are in the corner. They're not entirely part of the interior of the Mishkan. How would they be entirely in the, if this is the corner one, right? If it was like this, then it would be entirely inside. But if it's like this, then it's not entirely inside, right? Only partially. Right? That's what we're talking about. Right? Sorry, I forgot to mention that you needed an engineering degree before you came to this. The only reason I have an engineering degree because I've learned this before. Otherwise,
It's incredible how they had so much knowledge without any foundation of engineering to build all this.
So it's only because God told them.
Yeah.
God told them, and so therefore they knew. Otherwise,
Wow.
right? Exactly.
So sophisticated.
Yeah. Only half of an amma, because now take, right? Half of each of the corner planks were only half inside, because we already have 9 from the 6. So what's left is 1 to be 10 on the inside. So you need half from one corner and half from the other corner, which means a whole amma was being covered, right? Was being covered by the side, right? By the north side and south side. In order to fill it out to 10 ammas. And the remaining amma of each width, boys can get amma of the Kashi Mishkan. So the amma that was left of the 1.5, that was the thickness of the beam, right, then was distributed to the northern side and the southern side. In order that the corner should be even on the outside, right? So in the end, it was like a flush corner, right? It wasn't sticking out like this.
Right.
It wasn't sticking out. It was flush, right?
So how did they work out the sockets on the corner?
That we didn't get to yet.
Well,
That we didn't get to yet. That's a good question because, yeah. Okay. Guess what?
we'll never get to it.
We will, but on our own. On our own.
Okay.
Yeah. 1 second. Okay, we're going to stop here. Sorry, folks. Yeah.
It says, "Yehiyu tamim." And Rashi says, "Kmo te'omin." Is that word used with Rivka?
Yeah.
The same word.
Same word. Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, folks. We're going to see you in a few moments in time.
Thank you.